New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello and welcome back to Global Focus Today. I am Reverend Dr. Sharri Johnson, your host, and our guest today is, as always, unique, but this time it's a different kind of unique. Our guest is Reverend Lauren Martin, and her focus ministry is even more unique than most focus ministries. We've had one minister on so far who had a similar ministry in that her function was supporting other ministers. And that's the kind of background ministry that Reverend Lauren Martin has, is an amazing supporting other people in things that they didn't even know they needed supporting in kind of thing. She has, for instance, this mission statement. You're going to want to write this down, so I'll speak slowly. I will walk with you in the darkness and hold the light until you remember that the light is within you. Isn't that fabulous? And she's a trained life coach who specializes in working with people who are dealing with trauma. And my favorite thing, don't laugh, is that she has the prettiest purple hair you ever saw. Please help me welcome Reverend Lauren Martin. Thank you for saying yes.
Oh, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a delight. It's a delight. So explain to us what the Spiritual Living Circles is all about. What is that and how you got into it?
Okay, so, well, I got into it because I had a very nice mentor who was in charge of it to begin with, and she gave me the opportunity to work with it. So the Spiritual Living Circles are a way for people to be part of community, so that if you are in a place where there's no church, or if you want more than just what the church is providing you, you have a way to meet and have deep dive discussions that are based on the Science of Mind magazine every month. So I have the unique job of taking 4 of the articles and writing out a description of the articles and then discussion questions. And so I create a guideline for all of the people who want to run a circle to kind of, so they know what to talk about, what to discuss. They can pick any of the articles that we have. We've started to make it so that people can do this online easier, because I decided I don't like just looking at people's faces online. I like to have some like distraction, because, brain doesn't like to just look at one thing. So I created PowerPoints that people can use with these questions for any of their calls that they want to have online. And then that way we can start to expand to international locations, and everybody doesn't have to be in the same space, the same state, the same time zone to have the meetings. And the other thing that we do now is we're doing spiritual practices. Every couple of months, we'll do a spiritual practice that we put in there, so people can go in there and grab a spiritual practice to do in their spiritual living circles instead of discussing an article, if that works better for them. And then we also have the options that people could discuss what we believe in there. And so the great thing about the spiritual living circles, though, is you don't have to be CSL. You don't have to be a practitioner. You don't have to be a minister, you can be anybody and start a circle, and we're here to support you and to help that grow into maybe a teaching chapter if you want it to, or into just a lovely community that you get to spend time with and grow and experience the joy of learning in a relationship building environment, if that makes sense.
So basically it's CSL with water wings.
Yes, exactly. And so Amber Davidson and I worked together on this, and she and I have like this really huge passion that what we want is we want people to come to the spiritual living circles, get really excited about the principles and what we teach and the community, and then start to join classes and workshops and get to hear about different ways they can be involved with a spiritual community, even if they don't have one really close to them.
Okay, now I have a question that I'm pretty sure our viewers are going to want an answer for, and that is, two-part. Part one, is there some place where there's a directory of all the spiritual living circles that are already set up so that people can go and look to see where they might want to go?
Yes.
And is that the address that we just put up a minute ago?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. And the second one is, what if this person likes it so much they want to start their own circle? Or what if this person is already reading Science in Mind magazine and would love to have someone to talk to about it? How do they go about? Same place to see about setting one up?
Yes. And if there's any questions or concerns about it, there should be an application form on that site. If there's any questions, any problems with it, circles@csl.org is the email for that. So it's really easy to remember. And you can just go and ask Amber or I for support on any of those kind of things. The best part about the program and what we've changed about this program, because it used to be that if you had a circle, you were kind of off in an island by yourself running your circle. We've created a community through Moodle Room. So we put all of the guides in there every month. We put music that you can jam to that fits the theme for every month. We create a theme for our hosts that is similar to the Science of Mind magazine theme, but is catered to what a host might need. So like if we have where we did this month with the practice makes imperfect, we have a chat that we can go in and talk about what kind of spiritual practices are you doing? What kind of struggles are you having with your spiritual practices? Why are spiritual practices hard? Why are some not working in certain situations? So we have a conversation so that everybody can communicate with that. We have monthly meetings where we do a deeper dive with the hosts on these topics to help them understand how to communicate with their circle, and also so that they can grow a kind of a community within themselves and learn from each other. So this is completely different than it was. So if you've had a circle before and you felt it was kind of isolated and you didn't really feel like the love is there now. And we're here to kind of support and help more than we ever have before. And that's why we really want to see growth and expansion. I think we have 132 circles right now.
Wow.
And yes. And we are trying to get to 150 by the end of July. So come on, sign up. We'd love to have you. And honestly, a circle doesn't have to be a lot of people. We don't think we kind of encourage you to keep it under 8 so that it can be intimate and you can actually go through, if somebody's having a hard time and they need to come to the circle for support, you could be there for them. If you're having somebody needs to share something personal that's really triggered in the topic that we're talking about, they can share and feel supported. So we don't want you to create like a circle that's as big as a church, but we'd love your circle to turn into something as big as a church, like if you grow it, and we will help you with that too.
All right. Now, where did this come from? I mean, I remember ministerial school. Mm-hmm. I remember that every week the instructors would say, well, now what are you going to do this year? What do you think your ministry is now? Because I was the only person there who never changed what my ministry was going to be the whole time I was there. Everybody else had a new ministry idea every week. And none of them suggested this. So I'm kind of wondering where spiritual living circles came from. Were you in the beginning of it, or did you?
No, so they were originally started before I graduated. I did not know anything about spiritual living circles. They did not have the support to do the stuff that we're doing now. They had one person who was running it, and that was an add-on to her job, Amber. So this was like, okay, because these circles are free and everything we provide is free. So paying Amber to do a lot of work on this was not feasible for CSL. So my mentor happened to be in the head of education at the time, and she knew I was really passionate about education. That's one of my big passions. I love to create workshops. I love to do facilitating of workshops. I love to do facilitating of circles. I did a deeper dive circle, was part of my ministry when I first started, which was taking the spiritual living circles and going deeper. That fizzled away, and that led me to have space to do the spiritual living circles and to spend more time on that. And the whole purpose of this is, this is going to sound really stupid, but this is me putting my training wheels on, because I feel like I'm brand spanking new. I graduated, I think, about a year and a half ago now, maybe 2 years. So I'm still learning. And so I wanted something that could help me learn the skills that I will need in the future and give me the courage to be able to launch myself into something that I'm passionate about, that I could also be passionate about in the meantime. So education was huge on my list of things that I wanted to expand on. So this was perfect, because it's a way to get a footstep into education without like having a degree in education, because I don't. Yeah.
So this is like basically having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah. And it allows me to have time to do some of the other things that I'm passionate about also.
Well, and you know what? I know you're doing some other things like workshops and speaking. You have a guest speaking coming up pretty soon, don't you? Aren't you writing a book? Don't you have an article in the next issue of Science of Mind magazine? So yes. Tell us about those things.
So the article coming up in Science of Mind magazine is in the August edition, and it is We Need You, Healing from Domestic Violence. It is a kind of a sampler platter for the book that I'm working on. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I had a struggle with healing that. I still have some things that I need to work on, but it's a journey. That's the way it is. But this is a article that looks at how we can be a supportive and safe space for people who have been through it, who are going through it, who have any kind of experience with it. Because through the pandemic, the amount of domestic violence just skyrocketed to an unbelievable amount. And people don't know how to ask and how to be supportive. And we always talk about in CSL creating a safe space. And it's not really well defined. And it's not really easy to understand how to create a safe space for somebody, especially with something around domestic violence, because so many of us have experienced it. We get triggered. And then it becomes harder for us to be that safe space for another person. So I answered a few of the questions here of how it would be a little bit nicer to ask these questions. When I get the book done, the first part of the book is going to be my biography about what I went through, my story. And then the second half is going to be all the questions that you've wanted to ask somebody who survived domestic violence, but were afraid to ask or thought were rude, that I will answer to the best of my ability from my experience. And then I will give you examples of more conscious ways of asking the same thing, so that we are supporting people who've been there, because it's very hard to heal on your own, and it's very hard to not fall into the trap of the shame and the blame and the guilt. And this is something where I really want to let people know my journey, so they can understand that you can move from shame and blame to responsibility and relieve a lot of that emotion around it. And that's how you could heal. And the whole idea is I really want to help people move through trauma to remembering who they are, because a lot of people who are traumatized, who've been through abuse, they forget who they are. That's how they stay so long. And so if we can remember who we are and become our authentic joy filled selves, because joy is a natural state. A lot of us, wonder about that, but that's one of our natural states of being is joy. And if we can get back to being who we are meant to be and remembering that, we can heal.
Okay, now you and I have met before because we were both on the Global Heart of Peace Initiative.
Yes.
And you still are.
Yes.
I've moved on because I'm juggling a chainsaw, bowling ball, and a raw egg a lot of the time. And, when you grow out of one thing into the next thing, you got to let go of the first thing. And so talk about what Global Heart of Peace is for you and what you're doing there right now.
Somehow, in God's mysterious ways, I am the chair of Global Heart of Peace. And so we are shifting and changing everything about us. So we are in a rebirth state of mind right now. We are definitely looking for members. So if you want, just email me. I will be happy to have you know when we meet and what we're doing. Our big project that we are doing right now is we're kicking it off early. The UN Day of Peace is September 21st. And we decided this year we wanted to plant peace poles. And so planting peace poles, I don't know if you've ever seen those, but they're these really beautiful poles that are, 5-6 feet tall that you plant outside. And I realized that not all of us have an outdoors where we can put that, and not all of us have the money to buy a peace pole because they're not cheap if you buy one pre-made. So I got us a lovely little Facebook page that we have right there. And we are going to be posting things along the way in the next few months up until the day of the UN Day of Peace. And we want people to contribute videos of you celebrating with your peace pole, videos of planting the peace pole, any kind of videos of creating a peace pole. I will be doing a few myself. Just so you guys have fair warning, I have never done a crafting video, so these will be like amateur videos, but I have a few ideas on how to make different kinds of peace poles that you can have in your house so that everybody can participate. And the whole idea is building community around peace. And with the peace poles, the other thing that I want to do, especially with the showing the crafting on how to make this, is like maybe you bring this to your community center at church. Maybe you bring this to the kids at the youth center and have them do it in their day camp. Things like that. So there'll be 3 videos that I know I'm doing. I'm going to be doing one that's a nice wood pole, one that's beaded, and then one that I get the supplies from Dollar Tree, so that you have a budget one for everybody who is dealing with reality right now, so that we can have everybody participate in peace. And the reason I specifically got involved with Global Heart of Peace is I need peace in my head. Like, for me, it wasn't necessarily about the global peace as much as the starting within peace and the remembering that, a lot of us have a war that's going on in our minds at all times, and we're battling our own little inner demons. And if we can find a way to get everybody to get along in our heads, then we can create a space for other people to practice doing that too and help others do that. And that's how you can spread peace. Spreading peace by trying to do something outside of yourself doesn't work. But if you can try to find the peace within you and then help other people also find that peace within them, then we are making a change in this world. So I wanted to be part of the change and helping people realize that it doesn't matter what you've been through, who you are, what kind of spicy brain you might have, because I got a little bit of a spicy brain. So you can still find peace. And there's different ways of doing it and different ways of feeling it. And my whole hope is that I can get the committee to buy into making peace more active. And that's part of what the peace poll is about, is I don't want peace to only be meditation and being by yourself and being quiet, because peace and quiet may sound the same, but for some of us, peace is dancing to really loud music and screaming at the top of our lungs. That's me. Some of us, peace is, just being by a river and enjoying the environment and nature. So, whatever peace means to you, that's what the world needs.
Now, the only peace polls that I have seen, and I've seen 3 of them in 3 different states of the Union, were wooden poles that had either 4 or 5 sides. And on each side, written vertically, was the word peace in a different language.
Yes, correct.
And I have, if you want it, I have a file that has peace in like 32 languages.
I would love that. Thank you.
I'd be happy to share that file with you. In fact, I made a video out of it, and it's on my website. It's called The Languages of Peace on Earth.
Beautiful.
And I love the idea of making peace poles that you can have in your house. And I love the idea that of the Dollar Tree. That just makes my whole self giggle, because there's so much that you want to do, and you think everything has to cost an arm and a leg. So I'm really pleased that you're finding ways for people to start, A, within, because there isn't any peace outside unless there's peace within, and B, with what you have where you are.
Yes.
You can start with what you have where you are. I just love that idea, and that just makes my heart sing. Thank you.
Yes.
So there are 5 questions that I ask all my guests.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask them now. The first one is the one the guests like best. And that is there anything that you want our viewers to know about you, about Global Heart of Peace, about spiritual circles, about anything at all that I haven't asked you about?
I'm here for you. That's the thing that comes to mind, is reach out any way you need support. I'm here for you.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, so here's the next one. How does what you do as Reverend Lauren, as PT Mala 13, as spiritual circles, as a minister, as a person, how does all of that contribute to, enhance, support, encourage, pick your own verb, conscious evolution?
That feels like all I'm doing, so that's why I'm laughing, because it's all about learning who I am, how to show up better, how to be authentic, how to be there for people in when they need it, in the way that they need it, and to allow a space for everybody else that I come into interaction with to be their authentic self. And that means messiness, that means awkwardness, that means whatever. Embrace your shadow, love all of you. And that is where I feel like it's that whole growth thing, is all of this is leading me, I hope, and I know that it is leading me to where I am meant to be, so that I can reach more people and help them, because that's my whole goal.
Okay. Now, the second question, I really like that answer. The second question sounds like the same one, but it's not. It's different, so you have to listen closely. How does what you do as Reverend Lauren Martin, as Spiritual Living Circles, as Global Heart of Peace, as a minister, as a person, how does all of that contribute to, support, reveal, encourage, pick your own verb, world peace?
It gives me a platform for it. and it allows me to show up as it even when I don't feel it. So it gives me a place to be elevated and to really tap into spirit and the truth and to know that I am on the path I'm supposed to be on. So, and that is a peaceful path. That is a path where everybody is seen for who they are and loved 100% as they are, no matter what flavor, color, anything they show up as.
Okay, I'll take an order of that. Here's the next question. And you need to close your eyes for this one because you have to use your imagination.
Okay.
We are presuming that everything goes exactly the way you want it to go. Every little detail, every event, every encounter, every relationship, every single aspect of your life and your ministry goes exactly the way you want it to go. 10 years from now, what does Reverend Lauren Martin and her ministry look like?
So I am traveling all over the world with my workshops. I have really amazing speaking engagements where I have huge crowds, and I have that special person who is in the wings waiting for me and encouraging me and supporting me. Um, when I have visualized this before, I see myself in a lovely velvet cloak because, that's me. So like I have this whole dress image in my mind, and it's velvet and it's got all kinds of beautiful trim on it. And that's how I present my talks about being yourself. And I just really feel into that. And I am working with people through trauma. I am coaching. I am helping people heal, remember who they are, and I am teaching. So that is where I see myself. And every place that I travel to, I also see myself staying and get to know the environment a little bit. So like I want my life to be very travel focused so I can go and learn new cultures and see new people and help people everywhere realize how much knowing who you are heals.
All right. I like that. Now, the last question I usually ask is, will you come back? But it happens that you are on my pinch hitter team. I already have you booked for January 28th of next year.
Oh, well, okay.
So I'll see you then.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here today. It was wonderful having you, and you gave a great talk. And I want everybody to know that our visitor next week is Reverend Dr. Bobby Kaiser, personal friend of mine. He is a hoot and a half. You're going to love him. So don't miss it. In the meantime, have a great week. Have a great, wonderful, and know that I love you. Bye-bye.
Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next